Everyone, I'm Molly Howard. Today I'll be talking about kidney disease of unknown origin, CKDu, and how environmental factors may be driving it. Here are the purpose and objectives of this presentation, and here's the table of contents. Most kidney disease comes from diabetes or high blood pressure, things like lifestyle diseases. But a smaller slice, this 6.3%, those without a clear cause is what we're focusing on. In places like Mexico and Sri Lanka, this unknown category makes up a large share of cases, especially among young farm workers. So what is CKDu? It is a progressive kidney disease primarily affecting rural agricultural communities in low-income regions where the exact cause remains unclear despite extensive research. Found in people who typically lack CKD risk factors like diabetes and high blood pressure, and found in rural places with high agricultural practices. It's often not detected until it's advanced, making it a serious public health mystery and crisis. Research points to pollution and climate change as potential drivers. Air pollution from traffic, factories, and indoor cooking can affect kidney health. Heavy metals like arsenic or cadmium in pesticides can enter our water, soil, and food. Heat stress and dehydration, especially in manual laborers, add more risk. These stressors amplify traditional risk factors like obesity and hypertension, worsening kidney damage. All of this can lead to acute kidney injury, chronic kidney disease, and eventually kidney failure. Studies link pesticides, heat, dehydration, and contaminated water with kidney damage, even in people with no prior risk. This suggests CKDu is strongly tied to environmental exposures. This global map is showing that CKD is more common in low and middle income countries like those in Central America, South Asia, and Africa, often agricultural hubs. In these places, heat, water contamination, and lack of healthcare access may be fueling CKDu. So this maps of the Mexican states shows that Mexico is among the countries with the highest incidence and prevalence CKD, yet they don't even have a national kidney disease registry. So much of the data is coming from treatment data, like kidney replacement therapy. Regions showing high CKD disability and premature mortality may overlap with areas known for intensive agricultural, industrial activities, or other practices that increase exposure to toxins such as pesticides, heavy metals, or solvents. Research has shown that such exposures can damage the kidneys over time, which may explain why some states have both high current CKD burdens and rapid increases over time. Areas with heavy agricultural labor can expose workers to chronic stress and dehydration. This phenomenon, observed in many other parts of the world, has been linked to kidney damage. If the maps show higher CKD rates in regions with intensive farming, it suggests that occupational hazards and environmental exposures, like agrochemicals, might be playing a role. This graph is showing us CKD prevalence in Mexico by state, and I chose Aguascalientes, Mexico City, and Jalisco to point out they have very high prevalence rates, but I'll explain more why they are important later. Mexico City has the highest rate, which is why I decided to point that out, but Aguascalientes and Jalisco are important here. So I pulled them out, showing their proximity to each other in this map and created this. So if we look specifically at Aguascalientes, Mexico, where CKD rates are unusually high, many affected are young men working in agriculture and not diabetic or hypertensive. Environmental factors in this region include possible heavy metal exposures from guava plants and their byproducts, pesticides like malathion, which are linked to kidney harm. That was shown in a study done on rats. Air pollution and fine particulate matter from various practices, and nearby water contamination in rivers and groundwater, though not conclusive yet. That's why Jalisco is important, because Jalisco has high levels of fluoride in their water, much higher than the Mexican standard, and they've done tests of high fluoride. There's been high fluoride on the kidneys, and it's been shown to have negative effects on the kidneys. It's not much of a concern yet, but it's always something to keep in the back of your mind. So this line graph shows CKD rates from 2000 to 2015 between uninsured and insured Mexicans. And it's steadily rising even across the decades. It's showing that this is not just a health issue, it's an environmental and social justice issue, which is where my interventions come in. So one promising solution involved rest shade intervention. This meant that there were scheduled rest breaks, access to shade, and hydration with water and electrolytes. The results showed lower heat strain, better kidney function, and a strong compliance, showing this can work in real life settings. And more generally, minimizing socioeconomic effects. This includes public education on environmental risks in diet, healthcare provider training, limiting harmful chemical use in these communities, and farmer education on pesticide safety, protective gear, and taking care of themselves in heat strain. So overall, CKDu is a growing global threat, especially in agricultural regions of low-income countries. By improving environmental protections, workplace safety, and healthcare access, we can begin to address this crisis. Thank you for listening, and here are my references.